Hi guys, so as you've read from the title, this is about growing up, well, not typically white, as you can see my skin colour is not white, but I mean growing up in a white society, if you think about it, because I live in Britain and that's a typically white society. I wasn't born in Britain, I was born in America, but I moved to Britain like years ago, so that's why I have a British accent. But so basically this is really to talk about, I've seen it done with Miles J and it's another guy. I can't remember the video, but I'll make sure to link them in the description below and probably on the side of this video somewhere. So yeah, what it means to like grow up white, like I said, growing up in a typically white society where at first you kind of reject your culture, because I'm Nigerian, my mum, dad, Nigerian, so I've got that culture behind me, but I've also got this kind of culture that I was trying to live up to in Britain, because one, I went to a typically white school where there were 6 black people in my year. My sister had more people in her year, so she kind of had this problem, but didn't have as much of a problem as me. And there was about 2 Indian people and 2 Turkish people. That was literally my year, and then the rest were, there was no Asian people, there was no, like, yeah, all the black people in my year were Nigerian as well. So there were no other races that were, like, from Nigeria, not races, but I mean, from Nigeria, like, from Africa, if you understand what I'm saying, if you catch my drift. So, yeah, I remember at first, I mean, you typically know your culture, right? Like, you know that you're not typically white if you're a person of colour. But if you live in a white area, you kind of try to reject it because you're trying to fit in with everyone else. But there will be, sometimes there is that stage where you do actually realise, oh, I am this and I'm going to embrace it, which that was me in 2015 after going to a black school. We call it colleges here, but it's like the last 2 years of high school. That's when I realised it. So it was my last year, even though I'm in my 3rd year right now. So yeah. So I remember going to this secondary school / high school, thinking, oh, I'm gonna be like all the other white kids because I want to fit in. Didn't really have friends because I was bullied for being black, but I didn't really understand it because I was like, wait, I'm like one of you. Why am I being bullied for being of this dark skin colour? Like, it was horrible because you think, oh, I'm trying to be like everyone else, but it's not working and I'm still getting bullied for being black. But, oh, let me just reject my black side and try to be white and give them the nigger card. That's one mistake that I made. Because even though I knew about nigger being something that they shouldn't be saying, that it was from slaves and it's a word that the blacks reclaimed to themselves, I would still give it to them to kind of fit in. When they made jokes about my skin colour, I wouldn't really like get upset because I thought it was funny, even though it's not funny. Making fun of someone's skin colour is not funny. Hearing things like, oh, Anna, or because I used my African name back in the day, I still use it, but it's for people that can actually pronounce it because people tend to pronounce it wrong. So I tend to use Anna Marie as an easier way to communicate because I don't really have the problem of people mispronouncing my name. Anyway, I used to go, oh, Fermi, when you turn the lights off, we can't see you. Or if there was a black teacher that walked into a room, isn't that your parent? Even though they knew my mum worked in the school and they knew I did not live with my dad, but I would still get bullied and told that the next black woman or black man as a teacher who would walk into my school was my parent. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you bullying me? But at the time, I didn't really understand it because I was trying to push my culture away. Like, it's weird. When you have a habit, it's hard to kind of try to change that habit. Like, when I stepped out from being in the church here in like Essex and stepped into a church in London with a lot of black people, whereas there were black people in my church, but because we live in this typically white area where there were no people really in our compound, it was kind of hard to kind of be like, oh yeah, I'm black. But going there, everyone embraced it, and the thing is, they would see me as a white black girl. I'd get called an Oreo, and I'd be like, oh, yay, I'm an Oreo now. Like, thought someone just stepped into my house. I'm an Oreo now. I'm like the snack. Even though they were mocking me, saying that I was black but white on the inside. Like, it hurts to think about it now, because it's like, that's what I was doing. And I was allowing cultural appropriation. Like, I never really understood it. So why do I keep thinking there's someone in my house? When people used to be like, oh yeah, the cultural appropriation, like people of my culture used to say that about white people wearing braids and shit like that. I used to be like, oh, but aren't they just appreciating our culture? I never really understood it until this year. Please don't judge me. But yeah, like, now I understand it, and I understand and get annoyed. Like, it would annoy me, but not as much as it annoyed everyone else. But now it annoys me a lot. But yeah, so growing up in that area, I remember when I clocked, we say clocked, but when I, like, here in London we say clocked, but it means like when I realized I should be appreciating my culture was 2015, which was the last year of the school I went to last year. I embraced it more. Like, I got more black friends. Like, my friends that I hang around with now, we're all people of colour. I don't really hang around with a lot of white people outside of my college, because I go to London a lot. But I was like, yeah, this. I tell people who are not of colour about my culture and the weddings and stuff and things like that. And I think it's beautiful. And they're like, oh wow, culture, I wish we had that. And it's fun to share my culture with them and show people that I am black and I'm not going to embrace another culture. Because there's a thing about what some people do. They find another culture, like say people that got into K-pop, they find that culture and then they try to appropriate it. There's only so far someone who's not in your culture can go before appropriating it, if you get what I mean. So now when I see it, it irks me, and I try and tell people the difference between cultural appropriation and appreciating a culture. So yeah, there's that thing. And also the fact that I love African weddings. Like, if you see the colour and everything, it is beautiful. And I tend to share a lot of posts about beautiful black skin. I follow loads of them on Instagram. And then I have made a post before where I was appreciating everyone because they were black. I was like, because you don't really see it that much if you think about it. But yeah, that's everything. And I'm gonna go. Bye.